Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, so you just set a world record running 100 miles, like what, a few days ago. And so you ran today?
Yeah, I've been running since Tuesday. I've
No
been running.
kidding. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw one of your past interviews and it said, I think it was after your last 100. I think you said you were going to rest for a few weeks. So you're not taking a
Mhm.
few weeks off this time?
No, honestly, after Tunnel Hill, I was smoked, but this effort was only about 85%. Tunnel Hill was 110%.
No
So
doubt.
um, I'm gearing for the overall 100-mile world record in 6 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind. I mean, it took a lot out of me, but it wasn't all out. So my body's able to bounce back. And since I
Wow.
run, yeah, I'm thankful.
Incredible.
I'm thankful. Thank you.
Well, dude, yeah, so nice to meet you, man, and congrats on the world record. Just an incredible accomplishment. But give everybody an intro. Let us know who you are.
Okay. Well, I'm Taggart VanEtten. I am a 25-year-old PE teacher, kindergarten through eighth grade. I coach baseball, basketball, and track. I do it all at my school. Um, I was a triathlete for years. And then in 2020, I made the switch to exclusively running for the hopes of eventually dropping my marathon time from 2:36 to an OTQ in like 2023.
Wow.
But because of the pandemic, that did not happen.
Yeah.
So I decided that I would sign up for Tunnel Hill 2020. And after 4 months of the best training of my life, I walked away with a 12:19 for my first ultra, my first 100. Um, and then going into 2021, I didn't really know what to do. And because of like the pandemic and everything, and I can't afford to like go race out in California or Texas. And plus as a teacher, it's hard to get away in the middle of the school year
Yeah.
to go race in a different state. So I was running on the treadmill one day and I decided I would go after this 12:09 with what I had hoped for, a sub 12 performance.
Wow. It's unbelievable. So
Thank you.
your debut ultra was a 100 miler. You skipped the 50K, 50 mile, 100K, went straight into the 100 mile, and you completely destroyed it. So you said you had a triathlon background, and I've done some tries as well, but what led up to that success? I mean, were you successful at triathlete? So you just had this huge base built, or what's your story?
So I ran my senior year of high school. Then I ran 2 years collegiately where I got injured and hurt, and I didn't really care for running at the time. So I made the decision to leave my collegiate team and start doing triathlon stuff. This was when I was about probably 19 or 20 years old.
Why didn't you
Uh,
care for running at that point? What happened?
well, it was probably bad coaching. I
Oh,
was told that if I wasn't running at least a 7-minute mile, it wasn't worth running.
okay.
And telling that philosophy to a 19-year-old who just wants to run fast and is very hungry and will do everything is not something that a 19-year-old should hear.
Got it.
It's probably it's probably something no runner should hear, that a
Yeah.
specific pace, if it's not faster in this pace, it's not worth running.
Yeah,
Because yeah, that's terrible advice in my opinion.
for sure.
So I was doing a lot of swimming and cycling to cross train. I wasn't really running fast at all. Honestly, my like 5K for like a year was like 17 and a half minutes. I like dropped, which was terrible. And then I picked up triathlon, and from when I was about 19 or 20 till I was 23, I started with the sprint distance, went up to the Olympic, and then I went up to 70.3. And my 70.3 personal best came down to 4:11. That
Wow.
was when I was 23 years old. I was swimming like 35,000 yards a week, cycling 250 miles a week, and running only like 20 miles a week. I was only running 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Just weren't feeling the running.
I didn't really like running, to be honest with you. It
Okay.
just felt like more of like it was just my fallback. I mean, there
Sure.
was at one point when I was doing triathlon stuff where I thought I would honestly just take on Zwift racing as my new like go-to hobby. because I enjoyed Zwift racing so much. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've ever done it, Adam, but
No,
it's
no.
great.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you're crushing big volume with the swimming and the
Mhm.
cycling. You must have been really into that, and you must have been building some sort of a big base there too.
Oh yeah. It was those years of me building all this big triathlon base, all this swimming 7 days a week, cycling 7 days a week, doing all this core exercise that I'm building those muscles. I'm building my heart up. I'm doing everything right. And then I ran 237 from like 20 miles a week in 2019.
Which is just incredible.
Yeah, honestly, that day's up there for. I mean, it's not as sweet as either of the. It's not as sweet as either of the 100s, but as far as like me proving myself in my first marathon, it was. I mean, I couldn't ask anything better out of being 23 years old and running such low mileage.
Oh, dude, that's everybody's dream. That's incredible.
But
Okay, wait, I want to pause you for just a second. Like,
okay.
tell me where you grew up and tell me kind of like what your childhood was like. Did you have a pretty decent childhood? Or, I mean, somebody that's so fast either had a really supportive childhood or they got beat up a lot or,
Well,
usually one or the other.
well, honestly, so my dad was a 5-minute miler in 8th grade,
Ah,
but when he got into high school, he started playing baseball and basketball. So that
okay.
track and cross country thing went away. When I was little, I did a lot of baseball and basketball. I wasn't like a superstar by all means. I was always like probably sixth man off the bench, second base. I mean, well, I wasn't a starter,
Yeah.
but when I got older, I always felt like my playing time wasn't worth my like. I felt like I was underplayed. So when I started high school, I started wrestling, and then once I became a wrestler, I saw a lot of success there.
Okay.
And then
You
from
can build
wrestling
a
as well,
lot in wrestling. Wrestling will make you tough one way or another.
yeah, wrestling will make you very tough.
Okay. Did you wrestle collegiately?
No, I did not.
Okay, just high school. Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
just,
yeah, that'll teach
just
you a lot right there. That'll teach you
yeah,
grind.
yeah. My high school wrestling coach is the person who put the most faith into me out of any other coach that I ever had in my life.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
he was very impactful on me.
Got it.
And through wrestling, you got to run.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like 17, I signed up for my first 5K, and I got done, and I just fell in love with running.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love so much I didn't even wrestle my senior year. I just ran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little bit of everything. I wasn't one of those who was running around the track when I was 9 or 10 years old. I started, like I said, when I was about 17.
Yeah.
I mean,
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in a very small town called Manitou, Illinois.
Okay.
It's about 3 hours south of Chicago, about 2.5 hours north of St. Louis. It's right in the dead center of central Illinois.
Okay. Flatlander.
Yeah, about 1,500 people, cornfields,
Yep.
a gas station.
Okay. I
Yeah.
bet you there's some good wrestling out there though.
There's some good wrestling. And
Okay.
in high school, I actually ran with a girl who was a sub 5-minute miler, so it helped having her there with me.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. So now I kind of get where the mindset comes from. I mean, anybody that spent some time wrestling, man, they've got something right there. I mean, that'll teach you how to grind for sure.
We had 3-hour practices Monday through Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you've been through it all, like weight cuts. You've been through everything, man. I mean, that's hard stuff.
Oh, yeah, those wrestling practices scare me more than long ones today.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so then you got into tries, and then you ran a 237 marathon, running 22 miles a week. Like, that's everybody's dream right there. Like, when everyone signs up for their first marathon, that's what they hope is going to happen, but it doesn't happen for most people. So what was that like afterwards?
Well, I actually started cramping around 18 or 19 miles, which was funny because I never cramped in a triathlon because I fueled well for them.
Okay.
I kind of underfueled in the marathon. I just relied on Gatorade Endurance when I should have brought 2 gels, but I cramped a little bit. But getting through the finish line, I felt terrible. But after I went back to my hotel and took a nap and an ice bath, I was like, wow, that was actually a great debut for me. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like a 220 or like a 225, but I still can't be mad at a 237
No, not at all. Not at all.
for being a triathlete.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Especially with as little training as you did. I mean, that's just
Mhm.
outstanding. So where to
Thank
go
you.
from there? Did you just start thinking, well, maybe marathon's my thing?
So I took my like 2 week downtime like I do after every final race of the year, and I'd like gone back and forth, and it was really tough for me because I was so vested in triathlon, and it was the first time since I was in high school that I found success in anything. But I just told myself, I said, well, I said, you love this Zwift racing. I was like, you could run in the mornings and then ride your bike in the afternoons. And then maybe eventually you'll run in the afternoons. So maybe eventually I could build up to where I could run twice a day. And I said, well, I could just do that through the spring. And then if I want to go back to swimming this summer and go back to triathlon this summer, I probably could.
Now explain to people what the Zwift racing is.
So Zwift, I don't, it depends on if you know what bike racing. So bike racing is where you know, you race in a pack of guys. Um, so this is typically from 10 miles to like 30 miles. Basically, you just start off and you hammer from the start. And whenever there's a hill like there is in real life in cycling, you try to kick up the hill with the pack. And that's how it is online. So imagine like a running race where you got a bunch of, let's say, 30-minute 10K guys, and they take off very hard at like a 5 minute pace and they settle into like a 6 minute pace. Then they go up a hill and they start to sprint and they try to maintain in the pack.
Hmm.
So cycling is very like on and off. The off part is a slight tempo to where your heart rate is probably, at least for me, is around like probably like around 160. And then when you're on for about a minute or sometimes up to 2 minutes, my heart rate would reach about 180. And then you do your best to stay in the pack to get the draft. It's just super competitive. It's fun. It's fun to compete knowing that I could hop on my bike at 6:30 and there will be 50 other guys there for me to push.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I get done after an hour and I burn like 1,100 calories and I get stronger,
Sure.
and it's just a great time.
Yeah. For a
Mhm.
working man, it's perfect. You can go do it
Yeah.
after work, during the week. It's
You
not
can
a
do it
big
at
time
lunch.
commitment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, you
Okay.
can just sign up for a race and boom, you're there.
Okay. Okay. Um, but yeah, then where did it go from there? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're fine. So in March of 2020, after 12 weeks of running and cycling, I did my half marathon tune up for my eventual marathon, and I ran 1:10:05, which was great. Um, I, I had planned on running right at 1:10, and I can't. And it was a tough day. It was the weekend after the Olympic trials, so it was 7 days before the country shut down for COVID.
Okay.
This was in 2020. Then I ran it with a guy who we both had plans to face each other. We had planned to run 8 weeks later at this Illinois marathon, and our goals were both going to be like 225. And I think both of us were going to be in shape for that. But because of COVID, I got canceled. So I took a week off. I took a week off of running. I actually put in a 40-hour cycling week, which was very funny.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just decided with being a school teacher, I wasn't doing anything. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put in the equivalent to a work week on the bike. And I was just bike racing a lot. And then I got back into running. So around summer 2020, I began really some big base building, like 120, 130 mile weeks. Then I was doing a track workout in July. And that's when I got the notification that the Indianapolis Marathon was canceled. And I was just like, well, what do I do now? Like,
Right.
what?
Now what?
I was just so upset and bothered because I don't know, just the whole COVID thing, you know, nobody could help it. So I decided I would sign up for the Hennepin 100. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just do this first 100 and just do it just to do it and just have something to do. It'll just be like a long training day, you know, because I'm used to riding my bike. Sometimes on Sundays I'd be riding my bike 150 miles. So, but around like August time, Hennepin got the boot.
Yeah.
And I was very frustrated there. Then I found Tunnel Hill, and I was like, well, this is only 4 hours from me, so I could go do this thing. I actually had to email the race director, Steve, to let me in because he was only allowing a certain number of participants. This was around like August. And this is when I really started building high mileage. I was running like 140, 150 miles a week. Then as the season went on, I did like a 52.4 double marathon time trial at the time, what I thought was really impressive. And then I just kept building.
That double marathon was on your own?
Yeah. I ran at like 5:53.
Jeez.
And then I found out the American record for like the outdoor trail was 12:08, and I was like 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out from Tunnel Hill, and I was confident I was going to beat it.
Yeah.
I was running at that point 50-mile long runs in 6 hours every Saturday. So we go to Tunnel Hill, me and my best friends and I go to Tunnel Hill, and it was a great day. It started off as like 37 and cloudy, and it warmed up to like 48 and 6 mile per hour crosswinds, cloudy.
Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't ask better 10 for 100.
Totally. Yeah.
And I just went out and I tried to smile almost every mile. It really started to bite around 75. Then came up, and let me tell you, I had to fight some demons from 90 to 100 that I never thought I would dream of.
Okay. Well, that actually makes me happy. So you are a little bit human.
Yeah. No. From 90 to 100, it was like, and it was me versus myself because there was no one. It was just dark. Yeah.
Yep.
It was not an easy spot for.
Let me pause you again real quick. So,
okay.
When you jumped into this 100-mile distance, had you been researching ultra marathons? It seems like you just almost did it on a whim. Had you been studying these things? Did you have any 100-mile guys you were looking up to, thinking maybe someday, or where was your head at?
So because of my triathlon training, I had a big understanding of nutrition and what my body needs. For 70.3, that's a 4 to 4.5 hour race for me. So like a new carbohydrates, electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, salt, I knew what would require. And the weeks leading into my training, I would practice what I practice on race day, just like how to fuel. As far as like people looking up, I mean, I asked a couple people who I knew had done some like 30, 40 mile ultras on trails, but I just did my own research and just did what worked for me. And I did everything, like I said, in my long runs. So I honestly at the time, when it took me like 2 weeks after I finished tunnel, I didn't even know what Western States was.
Nice.
The only ultra runner I knew at the time was Jim Walmsley, and that's just because everyone knows who Jim Walmsley is,
Totally.
because I watched him at the trials.
Yep.
I didn't have I couldn't tell you what UTMB was, comrades. I had absolutely no idea.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. I was just this triathlete runner who wanted to go out and, have a good time and finish.
Yeah. See, there's something romantic or heroic about that. Like the guy who doesn't even know anything about ultra running, because, most ultra runners are ultra running nerds. They're online all day long, looking up everybody. What are they doing? What are they eating? They're researching more than they're training. And you're out there training more than you're researching. And you just went for it and you nailed it. So hats off to you. That's impressive, man. And it's a cool story to boot. So
thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
You. Yeah. I didn't have any idea. I mean, now I do, but like at the time, I had absolutely no clue what anything was.
Yeah. So you crush Tunnel Hill, you have a successful day. What's going on in your head afterwards? Are you thinking, maybe I'll stick with this 100-mile distance, or, I know that you have aspirations for Olympic trials with the marathon. So obviously that must be what you really want to do, but you just crushed 2 100 milers. So like, where was your head at after Tunnel Hill is what I'm getting at.
Well, the first thing I said after Tunnel Hill, literally after finishing, I said, I'm going to come back and go under 12 hours next year.
Ah, nice.
That was probably something I shouldn't have said, but it was my thought just as soon as I finished. So,
because I think you mentioned earlier that was 110% effort.
Yeah, it was absolutely everything that I could give. I could not have ran a single step. That night, I couldn't stay around for other people because I was like shaking. My friends had to like help me in a wheelchair get into the hotel. I couldn't even like hold myself up in the shower. My best friends, thankfully they were there to like help me through my embarrassment of that. But there was absolutely no way. I could hardly walk for 2 days after that effort.
Wow, that's crazy. Hey man, it's like PR or ER, right? I'm going for it.
Yeah. That day I went so deep in the well.
That's so cool.
I don't know honestly if I'll ever be able to go that deep again. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to push and get a PR and do all this stuff, but I just don't know if I will ever be able to go that deep inside myself again.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned so much about yourself and your physiology that day, and just like you said, you're fighting demons the last 10 miles. Why do you say you might not ever be able to go there again? Just because it was so freaking bad and those demons were so gnarly?
No, it's not that. It's just like, maybe because it was my first one, but I was just like, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping someday I can, but like, it's just hard to explain like how I felt the days after that.
Okay.
Maybe someday when I'm at the Olympic trials or when I try to go after this 100-mile world record, but it was something about that day in the build up, stuff that happened personally in my life that I just used for fuel that day.
Got it.
Yep. So,
yep.
I mean, I will always be able to push hard, but just I don't know if I will ever be able to pull off. I went from 0 to 12:19.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I understand it to a certain extent. I mean, my fastest 100, I had to give it 110% as well. And that day I found like a new gear. It's like I have this new gear that I didn't know that I had. And now I know what I'm capable of, but gosh, I don't know if I ever want to go there again. So like, I kind of get where you're coming from. Yeah.
It's the place.
It's the play. And right after you finished, you said next year under 12.
Yeah.
So you must be just like a glutton for punishment, because as bad as it sucked, you're ready to go back.
Yeah. I was hooked.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Thank you.
And did you have your eyes set on the world record almost right away after that?
No, I didn't have my eyes set on the world record till about 4 or 5 weeks, till probably 6 weeks ago.
Okay. 6 weeks ago. Okay. But I'm sure you were training before that.
Oh yeah. So my training block for the treadmill run started on January 4th. And that was 16 weeks plus a 2-week taper. And over that 16 weeks, I averaged 196 miles per week.
Okay. So do me a favor, explain the details of running a 200-mile week. Like you weren't working, right? So I guess that's probably part of it, but yeah, give me the details. Are you doing 2-a-days? You waking up in the morning super early and knocking it out? And most of your running is on road as well, right?
So, Monday through Friday, I wake up between 3:45 and 4.
Okay.
I run, depending on where I am in the block, it's 16 to 18 miles normally. I've actually woken up earlier and ran a marathon before work at like 2:30 in the morning.
I've done that. That sucks. I've done it.
it just makes you hard. I don't know.
It really
I
does. I remember being at work just going, how am I going to make it through this work day? Like, this was so stupid.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
did it. I did it once, and then I got done, and I had to go coach a baseball game. I'm just like, never
Yeah.
again. Never again.
Okay.
So Monday through Friday mornings, early call, 16 to 18 normally on the treadmill because it's cold in Illinois, and January through basically the end of March. It doesn't. I mean, I could plan to go back and forth, if it's like a 45-degree morning, but like logistically for my mind, it's just easy. You're just going to wake up, drink coffee, slip on shorts, and then get on the treadmill.
Okay.
So,
and you have a treadmill at home.
yes.
Okay. Makes it a little bit easier. I mean,
yeah.
Not that what you're doing is easy. Okay. So that's the first run of the day. Are you running twice a day?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after school, after school and practice, my school actually has a treadmill there, which is nice. So I can always hop on that.
Yep.
Or I come home and I hit the roads for like 8 to 10 or sometimes 12. Okay. It just depends on where I'm at in the week and the block. So that's Monday through Friday right there. Okay. Saturday is what I call my long run day. Saturdays in January start out at 30. And then my last long run was a 100K. So I basically just build up like 2 or 4 miles every week, and I try to hold a specific pace every week for it.
Okay.
And then Sundays they start off at a marathon, and it ended at 36 or 37 miles the day after that 100K.
Wow. Okay. So that is huge volume. So to people that don't quite understand what that looks like, including myself, I've never run more than 100-mile week. When I ran 100-mile week, I was exhausted all the time. So I'm guessing you're just twice as exhausted. I mean, and this is like all encompassing around your life is just completely pretty much running. Everything else revolves around that. First thing in the morning, got to get this done. You go to work, you kind of grind it out, and then got to get this run done. Are you working in speed work and everything as well? What's your sleep schedule like?
I do not work in any speed work. My hardest pace I run is on Saturdays, and the fastest pace I go is about a 6:40 minute per mile pace, because I feel like if I'm going any faster than 6:40, it's just wasting energy effort. I could, because I'm going to try to run decently quick again on Sunday, like a 6:50 or 6:55 pace. But I don't, with that schedule, I don't do any speed work. Okay. I normally get 8 hours of sleep at night. Normally I'm asleep by 7:30, 7:45. And like I said, I wake up before 4. So I make sure every night I get 8 hours. There were a few nights, well, more than a few, when we had basketball games that were late, and I'd be pushed back like that 7 hours, or even sometimes 6.5. But I'd say for the most part, I try to get 8 hours every night, which helps recovery and everything. And,
oh yeah, it's mandatory if you're running that much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
have I wish I could sleep more.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Do you have a specific diet that you follow?
I just follow a nutrients dense a high carbohydrate diet.
Okay.
I eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of whole grain bread, a lot of oats, frozen fruit, chicken, fish, sweet potatoes, protein powder, peanut butter. That's about 90-95%. And then I normally have like 2 cheat meals through the week. And then, if I want to go out Saturday night, I'm not afraid to go drink alcohol with my friends.
Okay.
But I don't drink alcohol through the week. If I do drink alcohol, it's sometimes maybe I'll have one on a Friday night, but normally it's like 3 or 4 on a Saturday night. I'm human. I deserve it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Pretty much every night for supper is chicken, vegetable, sweet potato, and then like peanut butter toast afterwards, peanut butter and jelly toast, Cheerios, yogurt, granola. I think I have actually a pretty strict diet, but I don't follow anything specific. I just do, like I said, nutrient dense.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
What about cross training? Are you mixing it up, doing core work? And do you have any other secrets or anything else like crazy breathing techniques or ice baths, or you standing on your head an hour a day or anything crazy?
So, in the school year, when I'm not working, I do a lot of body weight strength training. And when I was doing lower mileage weeks back when I was training for Tunnel Hill, I was, but this past training block, I was not.
Okay.
So pretty much my go-to, I used to do like squats and lunge and stuff like that. I don't anymore because I save the pressure on my legs. But pretty much my go-to every night, once a day, would be like 10-minute abs where you do 10 by 1 minutes or 20 by 30 seconds of different exercises. Then I would do up to like 7-minute arms. So I've got this like pull up, dip, and push up thing. And I just set a timer and I do like 2 or 3 reps of like pull ups and then 2 or 3 reps of dips and then 2 or 3 reps of push ups. And I just continuously work the different muscles in my upper body. I'm not trying to gain like muscular strength. I'm trying to gain strength in my body. That's something I haven't done in this training block because I just don't have time right now. But like I said, this summer once school gets out, I will be doing that again. It just makes me feel good knowing that, you know, I can crank out a bunch of sit-ups or crank out a bunch of push-ups. Yep. I actually last August before school started up this year, I was able to do 100 push-ups in a row, and like and then on different days I was able to do 30 chin-ups, which I was proud of as a runner.
Nice. You know, so you're strong.
Yeah, to have that strength.
That's wrestling right there. That's all wrestling.
But I could probably go nowhere near that right now because I'm so weak. But
okay.
Yeah, last August I was pretty strong by the end of the summer.
Okay, I like it.
Thank you.
Okay, so you start focusing on this world record on a treadmill. Where's your head at? And what does your training look like when you're really gearing up for this thing?
So in the last 5 weeks of my training that's on Strava, it was a little over 1,100 miles. So the 2 weeks before, I had ran a double marathon on a Saturday during like a 230-mile week. And I ran, what was funny, I ran 5:52, a minute faster than when I tapered for one back in September of 2020.
Wow.
Then I followed up the next day with like a 30-mile run at like 7-minute pace. And then the next week, I capped out at 2:58 and I ran 100K in 6 hours, 55 minutes. That's like a 6:41 pace. And then I ran 36 miles at 7:10 pace the next day.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it was like it was basically like that 5 weeks of training and like those 2 weekends that gave me the confidence. So like I could probably sign up for 6 days and try to eventually hopefully go under 11 14 56. But I mean I still got to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so explain to me the day of the event. Now, I saw that you were looking at like a virtual screen. I'm not sure what that was, so please explain that to me. And it looked like the treadmills were in a bar.
So the day of the event, man, woke up as usual, had coffee, breakfast. Yeah, it was in it's in what's called Seasons Gastropub. It's like a microbrewery, and here where I live now in Morton in downtown, it's like perfect. It's right on Main Street where people are out walking and everything. In front of me.
Did you have like a sign outside, world record attempt, or did you like let your friends and family know what you were doing?
We didn't have a sign, but everyone in the community knew, and my friends and family knew from my like Facebook event that I had going on. So a lot of people would come in for like a minute or 2 minutes and just watch, and then they head out, you know.
Okay.
But so in front of me, up here is like the big TV they have at the bar. It's like 80 inches, and that's where we had Zwift on. This is for Zwift running. I'm running on a treadmill. My buddy's computer, who's doing everything's over to my left, and then the second treadmill's to the right because we had a run next to me thing. And from miles 1 through 99, we cycled between like 20 people who'd run with me for 4 or 5, 6, 7 miles at a time, which was nice because I always had someone next to me all day.
Oh,
just had them there.
that's cool.
Then we had like five metal fans on me to try to keep me cool. It was very cool in the morning, but then the last 3 hours, it warmed up to 80 degrees in there because there were so many people, and the AC was actually set on 60, but with all the bodies that were inside the bar and grill, it was just cooking in there.
Heating up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What were you eating and drinking throughout the day?
So in my ultras, I only drink water.
Okay.
That's my go-to.
Yep.
As far as eating, every 2 miles, I would have 2 salt stick fast chews. I don't know if you know what those are,
Yep.
but they're great. But they're great little chews. Every 4 miles, I would either have a honey stinger waffle or a Cliff block chew, like the 6-pack. You know how they come in the thing.
Yep.
Or a vanilla or chocolate goo gel, or a banana. So I rotate between 4 things every 4 miles. So my mouth is constantly eating something else, tasting something else. And then at like 30 miles, I also added a salt capsule while I was eating something. And then at 60 miles, the salt capsule changed to one with caffeine.
Okay.
And then it was at 25 and 50. I had 2 bananas. I couldn't eat at 75 just because I was at that point, you know, I'm going so hard right now that I couldn't. And then whenever I felt tightness, like a cramp coming on, we had these bottles of pickle juice, and I would just squirt probably 3 or 4 ounces in my mouth. Then I would wash it down with another salt and electrolyte capsule to make it go away.
Okay.
So I'm not like afraid to take 2 gels back to back because I did that a few times. And I'm also not afraid to wait an extra mile or 2 for a gel because you really got to be in sync with your body, your stomach, and your gut to understand what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
That's true.
Yeah, there were, like I said, twice. Once it was like around mile 30. It was early in the day when I was like, shoot, I probably could take a second gel right now. And I just took 2 goos of vanilla and a chocolate one back to back. And then it was around like 60 or 65. I did the same thing again. I just downed them. I know your body can only digest so much amount of carbohydrate or calories per hour, but when in doubt in an ultra, unless you're throwing up or, you know, going number 2, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing it either.
Okay. Any bathroom breaks throughout the day?
So the treadmill shut off every 99 minutes.
Every 99?
Yeah.
Okay.
So about every 14 or 14 and a half miles, I hopped off for probably 30 or 40 seconds. The bathroom was 10 steps away. I peed. Didn't have to go number 2 all day, thankfully. I didn't have to at Tunnel Hill either. I'm able to figure out in the mornings what I need to where I don't have to do that during the race.
Okay.
That is very big for an ultra runner, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Do
you have any secrets there?
So I can tell you my secret. It's probably not very great to hear, but I can tell it to you.
Everybody uses the restroom first thing in the morning to try and get it out of the system, of course. But yeah, if you have any secrets to share, enlighten us, please.
So my run started at 7 a.m. Okay.
Yep.
My body woke up at 2:30. I laid in bed at 3. Between 3 to probably 5:30ish, somewhere in there, 90 minutes before. So when I say a cup of coffee, you think a coffee cup's like this size, right? Mm-hmm. Well, an actual cup is probably actually like that size, you know, like a normal coffee cup is probably equal to 2 regular cups, you know, like if you think of things. So I had problems. So this is what I do a lot. I like to wait to eat until I feel empty, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I had probably the equivalent to 6 cups of coffee, which is normal for me. My body's used to it. I mean, I don't have the time to drink that in the mornings before work, but I had the equivalent to 6 cups. So I go to the bathroom like 4 times until I feel empty.
Yep.
And that's when I feel comfortable enough to eat breakfast. And then normally I go one more time just for nerves. And I did that. And I didn't have to go until the next morning.
Then you're good to go. Okay.
I practice that on my Saturday and my Sunday runs when I have all day to run, you know. It's just, I know the right amount of time, and I know how long, like how many times I would have to urinate to get all the coffee out of my system too, to where I wouldn't have to stop in the middle of the run, you know. It just takes really listening to your body and understanding, you know, how you go and when you go.
Yeah.
And that is big for ultra endurance.
Yeah. Well, when you're elite and running that fast, it's definitely big. Like when I go out for a run, I just plan on, you know, having to go to the bathroom a few times. Like it's no big deal for me. Like, but when you're really counting seconds like you are, you've got to have a system down. And like you said before with triathlon, you've got it dialed in. You know exactly the nutrition that you need. You know your body really well. And you've got a system. So that's really important for what you're doing. So I like it.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you have those same demons come back on the treadmill?
No.
It was probably a different energy because you had a bunch of people around.
The treadmill 100 and Tunnel Hill were two completely different events.
Right.
They were totally different.
Okay.
Yeah. When I started the treadmill run, I just looked at it as like another Saturday extra long run, you know. I got to 75 miles and you know, I'm hurting then. I'm not feeling great, but then I just try to remind myself, think of how many times you ran 25 miles at 7-minute pace. Then I get down to 80 miles and I say the same thing, 85, 90. And I just try to remind myself, like, as long as you keep fueling and as long as you stay on top of your electrolytes, I'm going to feel great, but I'm going to get through this. So in any races, I think it's best to just think positively. And if you just keep telling yourself you're going to have a good day and that you feel great and that you look great and all that good stuff, positive thoughts are huge. And as soon as those negative thoughts creep in of doubt or this hurts or this sucks, that's when it can just take your race away.
100%. Yeah. So is that something you consciously have to focus on, staying positive throughout the day and not letting the negative thoughts come in?
I don't know. I kind of did it more at Tunnel Hill than what I did during the treadmill.
Yeah, you said you smiled at everybody. I mean, that helps. Yeah, I cheer people on, and then that's cheering myself up as I'm cheering other people on. So
I try to do that at Tunnel Hill when I pass people. Here, you know, I had someone running next to me to talk to with all day. I had my best friends there all day. I had so many people just come in and out, say hi. They'd come up to the treadmill and wave, and it was so nice to see that. And then from like 75 or 80 on, the crowd behind me had a big countdown. Every time I'd click a mile, they'd yell and scream and all that. Then I'd click another mile, and then 25 more, and then 20 more. And then I think I yelled at like 15 that I said I'm 15 miles away from a world record. And, you know, that amps me up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
You got to do everything that helps you in that day.
You got
and
it.
Then I hopped off the treadmill for the last time, and it was so hot in there. And as I'm going to the bathroom, my buddy's like pouring bottles of water on my head and all this stuff. And then I walk out, and I don't really look at anyone. I just say whatever it takes, and everyone just roars. And then I hop on the treadmill for the last 13
Dude,
and a half or 14
I'm getting
miles.
Goosebumps here, man. I love it.
Yeah, and then I just hop on the treadmill for the last 13 or 14 miles, whatever it was. And from mile 89 to 99, one of my biggest running mentors ran next to me. He's a PE teacher too. And he got on and he said, "We're going to do this." And I said, "Heck yeah, we are."
Nice.
So then he hopped off at 99, and the last one was all me.
All you. What did your mom whisper in your ear when you were almost done? I think you had like a mile or a couple miles to go.
Yeah. So my dad had passed away on April 30th, 2015. That's a whole different. Anyway, she just said, I've got this tattoo from my dad on my back, and she just said, he's pushing you right now, and you just gotta. She said, just he's right there with us, and I had a picture of him all day, from the treadmill to the TV, like on the stand or whatever, and it was just nice for her to say that, because he never even got to watch me do a triathlon, which I think is so funny because people ask me about that, and I say, yeah, he wasn't around for even the triathlon day, so I couldn't even tell you. But she just told me, your dad's here with us, and he'd be proud of you. And then I got pretty emotional on the treadmill, like the last mile or so. Not because I was hurting, but because she said that, and she was there, and just like I knew I was gonna achieve this, and that it was just gonna be like another big breakthrough for me.
Yeah.
And I got pretty emotional on the treadmill during the last mile, but I pulled it through and got off, and it was awesome.
Dude, yeah. And it's a great video too of you guys celebrating afterwards. I can tell how pumped you are. You're pouring champagne all over the place. Like, it looked pretty epic.
Yeah, it was nice to hop off, to hug my mom, and I didn't even know they were gonna have champagne there for me. My best friend, he's like beating on my chest, and he hands me this bottle of champagne, and he says, I'm like, I don't even know how to pop this thing open. He's like, well, push it with your thumbs, and I pop it open, and I drink it, and I shake it, and then him and my other two friends come over, and they just start pushing on me because they're so pumped up, and I start pushing on them, and then I start crying again, and it was just a big show.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in people's celebrations after big efforts like that too. Like, how long did the celebration last? Did you eat a big meal? Did you have a beer, or was it just get me to a cot, I'm in pain?
So the place had a big computer chair for me. So after I got done with the champagne and took my shoes off, I sat in the computer chair, and basically everyone came up to me and congratulated me, talked to me, take pictures and all that. I say I'd stay, which was nice because it was still light outside. In Tunnel Hill, it's pitch black when we finish.
Oh yeah.
But finishing at 100 in May, it's about this time.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I stuck around for probably 45 minutes afterwards. The place cleared out a little quicker than I thought. I had planned on staying a little over an hour, but people were just coming up saying great job and leaving and all that. And so I said, well, I'll just go home. And I went home and I took a shower. And thankfully the drive back to my house is only a minute. It's like less than a half mile down the street. So I come back in, I take a shower, I lay down on the couch, then I get a pizza and I eat most of it. I'm not that hungry at that point.
Yeah.
I'm more sick than I am hungry. And then go to sleep. That was the day pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just incredible. I mean,
thank you.
What does it mean to you to set a world record like that? Like, that's something I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime, if I'll ever set a world record. So like, was it a big deal for you, or did you just were you pretty humble about it? Like, just another day on the treadmill.
It did feel like another day on the treadmill when I was doing it. For me to have my closest friends and family there at a finish line and to be right there as soon as I get done, I realized this a few days ago that will probably never happen again in my lifetime, to have that many people who I'm lucky enough to support me, be there.
Yep.
So now that I look back, it was a very special event, but as far as looking at the bigger picture, it was still just the tune up for the bigger day.
Yeah.
But I am very grateful to have, like I said, the 100 people that were, for everyone that was there throughout the day, people who would watch the Facebook and Instagram check-ins and encourage me. And then at the end to have everyone there, I don't think I'll ever experience that. I mean, even if I were to win an Olympic gold medal, which I won't, but like, I'm not going to have that many of my closest people there for me at the end of it, just like it was on Saturday. So yeah, it did mean a lot to me.
Good. Well, take some time to take it in, man. I mean, it's just a huge, huge accomplishment. I think you know
Thank you.
that. Tell me about the future. You said this is just a tune up for the big day. So tell me what you got coming up.
So in 6 weeks, it's like, I think we're 40 days or 39 days away. I'm going to go to 6 days in the Dome in Milwaukee. It's a 447 meter indoor track around the United States Olympic ice skating rink. It's kept at 50 degrees, and I'm going to try to run a new 100-mile world record. The current record was just broken a few weeks ago by a guy in Belgium. It's 11 hours, 14 minutes, 56 seconds. Yeah, it's fast pace.
And he broke the record on a track, correct?
Yes, he broke the record on an outdoor track. Yeah.
Okay.
Zach Bitter had it before, and Zach Bitter actually ran it at this event before.
Right.
He had it was 11:19 and some change. And then this guy did it this past like 3 weeks ago, and like I said, 11:14:56.
Yeah. Is Zach Bitter going to be there that day? Do you know?
I do not know.
Oh, so you don't know if you're going to have any competition there that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not know yet.
You don't care though either, do you?
No, I mean, I'm planning to do it by myself. If he were to show up or get a hold of me saying, hey, I'm going to be there, that'll just make the day that much better for me.
Yeah.
And him,
yeah.
because the two of us would be sharing the work.
Yep.
But I'm just planning on me right now.
Yeah. Is your training going to be altered at all for this big event coming up? Are you putting in a lot of miles on the track, or what are you doing?
So I just started running again, like I said, on Tuesday. It depends.
So you had 2 days off, just 2 rest days.
So I took Sunday off, and I rode my bike on Monday.
Okay. Shake it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Then it depends. So the Illinois summer is really weird. If it's like a mild, cloudy day, I'll spend it at the track on a long run for a Saturday. But if it's very sunny and hot, which will not be the same conditions as what I'll experience on race day, I probably will not be going to the track for a long run. I'll definitely be going there for 16, 17-mile runs just to see what it feels like at lane 6. But as far as long runs, I'm just going to play it kind of how the weekend goes. Like I said, if it's cloudy and it's 60s, I'll be there. But if it's 80 and sunny, I'm not going to be spending 6 hours of my day on a track just because that's going to kill me.
So you'll be on the treadmill?
Yeah, I'll be on the treadmill.
Okay. Right on.
I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts there? Most people aren't really into the treadmill. It sounds like that's kind of your go-to.
So it was around probably 2017. It was around there, or I was a junior, senior in college. A lot of cyclists, even a lot of world-class cyclists, started really training on the trainers a lot, the spin bikes and everything. And they were finding success that they could, push this power through the pedals, and it would translate pretty well outside. And they were able to control their nutrition. They didn't have to worry about traffic and all this. It just went over well for them. There are some guys who will live by it, and some guys who are big in cycling who just won't do it. They don't have to do it. But guys like Chris Froome, I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
But he's Tour de France a winner. He trains on the trainer.
Okay.
A lot of I would say every world-class triathlete, professional triathlete, trains their hard workouts on the trainer.
Yeah.
So, and running, a lot of runners look at the treadmill as the dreadmill or something that's not fun to do. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the most greatest thing, but it keeps you healthy. A treadmill flexes when you run on it. And now in 2021, you can listen to music. You could do Zwift. You could watch other courses. You could watch Netflix. As long as you have fans circulating in a cool environment. I just think looking at the treadmill as something that's negative and not positive can really, put your damper on it. And that's not the outlook. Training should be fun, but training isn't always fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
You should enjoy it, but at the same time, you're feeling beat up. what's wrong with getting on the treadmill for 8 miles or 5 or 10 or like however long, it's because like where I live, there's not a lot of soft surface. And I think frankly, other than pure grass, the treadmill is softer than any track. It's softer than any dirt road just because it flexes like that when you hit it.
Yep.
And it takes all the pounding. And when I get off the treadmill, I can go to work and play around all day in the gym. When I get done with an 18-mile run in the mornings, if I were to do that 5 mornings in a row, I would be very stiff throughout the day.
Yeah. Do you run on a certain treadmill? And were you very specific about the treadmill that you set the world record on? Were you using your treadmill from home, or what did you do?
No, I just bought the Nord track from Dick's. That was like $1,000.
Okay.
It's not, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know much about treadmills. It was able to handle 75-mile run, and it handles probably 140, 150 miles every week. So I guess it's probably a decent treadmill.
Right.
Yeah, it can handle that week after week just fine. As far as the treadmill that I ran on, it was a matrix treadmill that the Gold's Gym here in Morton brought in 2 of them for me, 2 commercial treadmills.
Okay.
And I had ran on those once before, like a couple months ago. But as far as for the world record, like I wasn't concerned that I had to run on my treadmill or the certain brand. And I just ran on these commercial ones that were provided for me, and I knew they would last.
Yeah. So you weren't even worried about running on a treadmill you're not really used to?
No.
Okay. Right on.
That's kind of overthinking stuff. I mean, it's just a treadmill.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, you're overthinking everything else. I'm surprised you're not putting a lot of thought into that, but I guess it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In case one were to break down, then I'd have the other right there. We just wouldn't let people run next to me. Both treadmills were on different breakers, different circuits, and all that.
Okay.
So in case one went out, we had the place had programmed a backup generator.
Oh, really? Okay. So there was some thought put into it for sure.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. There was thought for that stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I just didn't really care if it was my treadmill or not. So.
Oh, it's awesome. Killer, man. And then what's after 6 days in the dome? Do you have any other plans? Are you looking beyond that?
No. After 6 days of dome, hopefully a trip to Florida in there.
There you go.
Where I sit on the beach and gain about 10 pounds.
Perfect.
As far as after that, I'll probably take like 3 weeks off of running. I might even take 4 weeks and really get back into some cycling this summer, just because I'm going to have all day to go out and ride my bike and explore roads.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get into running, but I'm not afraid. So after Tunnel Hill, I took 3 weeks off, and people hear that and they're just probably like, oh, he took 21 days, but like my body needed to heal after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably could have taken more time, but probably could have taken less time. I don't know, but I'm going to take a minimum of 21 days off of running after 6 days in the dome. I'll go on walks, I'll ride my bike. I might even swim in the outdoor pool here. I'll just do whatever to stay busy.
Yeah.
And then I'll get running again. And it kind of depends on if the USA Track and Field has released the Olympic standards for the marathon yet for 2024. I doubt if they will, because the trials being pushed back here, and the trials are normally in like July. So that will kind of depend on things. I'm not 100% sure. It will probably either be a marathon or like maybe 24 hours on track, or maybe try to lower another 100-mile time. It won't be anything like a single track. It won't be anything like a single track ultra marathon. I'll tell you that. Sure. Because where I live, there's just none of that for me to train on. And with working full time, I can't drive 30 minutes to go run for an hour to drive 30 minutes home right now. Yep. I just can't justify that.
Yep.
Someday, maybe. Right now I can't.
For sure.
But it'll be something in my wheelhouse as far as either marathon, another 100, or maybe 24. I don't know if I can convince myself to do that yet, but
Yeah.
something.
Well, Taggart, I just love when somebody just comes out of the woodwork and just blows up. It's like, who is
Yeah.
this guy? Where did he come from? What's he doing? Like, this guy just eating bricks for breakfast, or what's he doing? But I love when somebody comes out like that. So hats off to you. Like, yeah, it just seems like you almost came out of nowhere, but you've been in the grind for a long time. It's just like you just started this a few weeks ago. You've been doing this stuff for a long time. So, but congrats on the success, man. I mean, it's fantastic. It's impressive. And you're definitely turning heads. People are wondering, who's this guy? What's he all about? So just keep doing what you're doing, man. It's very impressive. And good luck to you the rest of the year, man. Well, everyone's going to be keeping an eye on you, seeing what you're up to, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're killing it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't, other than once my downtime comes, I don't plan on to stop over these next 6 weeks, and hopefully I can get fit. You know, if I go out and I run 11:17 or 11:19, you know, I'm not going to be mad at that walking away. I mean, I'm shooting, you know, for the 11:14:56, but at the same time, I'm not going to be kicking the track and throwing my nutrition on the ground if I come across the line or something like that, you know.
Good. Well, you got the right mentality going into it too. It's like you've got a certain amount of humility along with your talent as well. So just enjoy it, man.
Thank you. I mean, honestly, I feel like I have nothing to lose.
No, nothing to lose, nothing at all. It's like you run 12 hours and people are still going to be impressed, man. I mean, yeah, man. No, so cool. So cool. Well, listen, man, thank you so much for spending the time talking to me. It's an impressive story and people are going to dig in, man. So just, yeah, like I said, just keep doing what you're doing, man. People are watching. It's awesome. I love it.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a great conversation, Adam. Hopefully maybe sometime we can talk again.
Oh, dude, I can't wait till one of your other big events and I'll have you back on, and I want to hear some horror stories. I want to hear about those demons you beat the crap out of.
Yeah, for sure. I think kind of one part about me, which is different than most, is because I'm not quote a professional. So like, I'm not afraid to release my secrets to my nutrition and my training.
Sure.
I just don't get why these professionals like hide stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But anyway.
Yeah, no. I mean, even if you give up all your training secrets, your diet secrets, it's like people still have to put the work in, and people still have to have a certain amount of talent, and it's still going to be hard to match. So you can give away all your secrets, and if people mimic them, you know, they're still going to, you know, it's going to be a 20-hour 100-miler, you know? So, yeah, you're just head and shoulders above most of us. So that's why it's impressive. But yeah, man. So yeah, thank you once again for the conversation. It's been an inspiration. So hopefully talk to you again soon, man.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool, brother. Yeah. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Thanks.